All right, so for part 4, I'm actually not going to sketch on the XY plane. I'm going to sketch up on the YZ plane, I believe. And what I'm going to draw is just the shape that we can see on the right side of the isometric view, or just the curved shape on the side view. Excuse me, the front view. And so what that consists of is the bottom, which is 40 wide, and then 40 tall before we get to a circle. And I'm not even going to put the hole in it. I'm just going to put this outside shape. So I'm going to finish my sketch and extrude. And we want this whole region. And then the distance that we want it should be 55 millimeters. From here, I'm going to right click on this flat edge and I'm going to draw a sketch here. So create sketch. And this I'm going to make the rectangle that we can see in the side view. The rectangle is 35 wide. And since this is 55, 55 minus 35 is 20. And then 20 divided by 2, since we want this to be centered, is 10. So I'm going to go in 10. And then I'm going to make a rectangle that is 54 high and 35 wide. Now, I'm also not going to add the circle here. I'm just going to extrude. I'm going to extrude this entire rectangle, but the way that we're going to do it is two sides with different lengths, because this side just has to go a little bit, and this side I actually want to go all the way through the shape to the other side. Now, you'll notice as soon as I start intersecting with an already three-dimensional shape, it starts to cut away. We don't want it to cut. We want it to add more stuff, so I'm going to click the operation to join, and now we actually have to make these distances specific, deliberate. So the first distance should just be from the edge, from the face that we drew on out. And that's going to be 12 and a half, which we can see on the top view. And then from that face all the way to the other side needs to be the rest of the 65 millimeters. Now, 65 minus 12 and a half is 52 and a half. And so that's what I'm going to put in for the second measurement. And then I'm going to accept it, and I'm going to look at the side view here to make sure that it looks centered, and it does. So now at this point, we can actually start to put holes in the shape, and the reason that I'm waiting until now to put holes in it is because we wanted to have the full three-dimensional shape before we started cutting anything out. Otherwise, if we put holes in right away, that second extrusion would have blocked the hole when it went through the shape. So now that we have the holes cut out, we can see that they go all the way through, and we have this bottom edge cut out. Then we can start to fillet the corners. And so for that, we'll get the fillet tool, and I think all of the fillets are a radius of 2 on this drawing. And so I'm going to click some of these edges. And then we can put the measurement in as 2. That should make it look like the drawing. The last detail we need is the notch on this side. So I'm going to make a new sketch here based on the circle. And I'm going to make a line from the center of the circle that goes out. Now the radius of the circle is 10, and the inside of this should go out a distance of 5, it looks like. So I'm actually going to go out just based on the degrees, which is 90 plus 35, or 125. And I don't mind how long the line is. We can fix that in a moment. But then what I want to do is I want to go 2 in this direction and 2 in the opposite direction, because the full width of this notch should be 4. Notice that these lines have a perpendicular constraint. And then I'll make the lines back up to the circle. Now these lines are just about 4 long, but they need to be 5 long. So I'm actually going to go out an additional 1. And connect those 2 lines before I extrude my shape, which is this inner rectangle. I also need to make 1 line on the inside here, so that is a closed shape. If I finish sketch and press extrude, I can choose these quadrants. And let's get the home view. We're gonna cut, and the distance actually isn't on the drawing, but the distance is 10. So I'm going to, that's where it stops. There is negative 10. Press OK, and our drawing should be finished.